Baba is underlining the importance of Baba's Murli. And you see that the most physical point of contact between Baba, the Supreme Soul, and I, the Soul, is the Murli. So Baba speaks through the Murli, and I listen to what Baba has to say through the Murli. And you see that communication between the soul and Baba happens through the Murli. And the Murli is of utmost importance because Baba is the ocean of knowledge, ocean of purity, ocean of peace, ocean of love, ocean of power, and everything that Baba is expressed to us through the Murli. So, how do you understand the truth through the Murli? How do you understand, how do you feel Baba's love through the Murli? How do you feel that Baba loves you anyway, or Baba accepts you as you are? And how do you know that you are the beloved child of Baba? Because Baba says it through the Murli. And how do you know how Baba looks at you? Baba looks at you with so much worth. Baba looks at you as a worthy soul. So how do you know that? You know it through the Murli. How do you know what powers Baba is giving you? It is through the Murli. And you see, the Murli is the most concrete, the most physical point of contact that we have with Baba. And I will tell you something about yesterday's Murli. In yesterday's Murli, Baba said that when you are an instrument, Shiv Baba through Brahma Baba, or in fact, Shiv Baba's powers are what Brahma Baba wills to you. Yes, so Brahma Baba gives you all powers as a will, as an inheritance, if you are an instrument soul. So when I was meditating today, I just felt like I did not know this earlier, that Baba gives all his powers as a will. And up until yesterday, I made effort to take power from Baba, from Shiv Baba. But today I had this feeling that these powers are my inheritance. I have absolute authority over these powers. And they are something that Baba is giving me because I am an instrument, and I felt like, I became an embodiment of those powers very easily. I felt that I have the power to tolerate. Why don't I have it? I have the power to face whatever comes. And of course, earlier also I felt these powers, but not as easily and organically as I felt today. So you see that Baba's Murli makes you, so when you see through the Murli, Baba tells you what are your virtues, what are your rights, what are your powers. And when you experiment with it, then you start experiencing that yes, these are my powers, these are my virtues, these are my rights. So just like you see, Baba tells you through the Murli that I am bound to be beside you. So Baba says, you just create a thought and I come and I am with you. And earlier maybe we didn't have the confidence to call Baba. But now when you know that I am Baba's child, through the Murli only you know these things. And Baba is here and he comes at one call and you call and you experience Baba's presence and support in the moment, then you know how Baba is with you all the time. And Baba tells us about the spiritual laws also, because you see, you may be, so just like you see, somebody is driving on the street, and in India now there's a law that you break a signal, so there is a challan in your name, and there's no police officer who is actually giving you the challan, but it's there, it's being incurred, and your vehicle number is registered, and then you will receive the challan later. So even if you don't know that when you're breaking a signal, there is a challan being issued to you, still it's being issued. So similarly, Baba tells us many laws which whenever we are breaking those laws of spirituality, there is a big burden on us which is being incurred. And Baba tells us about these laws, and then you start understanding how you see subtly you are incurring all the burden that you're incurring. Because sometimes you don't see something, whenever you break a law, you don't see the effects immediately. But later you see it because the karmic account is accumulating. And now you understand how to get rid of that karmic account. So you see, yesterday Baba said that even if nobody is watching you, still if you're doing seva, then there is a positive karmic account which is being, accumulating in your account. So that's so good to know, because you see, earlier maybe you were thinking that you're doing seva, who saw it? So, but now you know that there is a incognito account, and even if you are, doing any seva, even picking a glass of water and serving in Baba's remembrance, that account is being accumulated. Or let's say you're just creating positive thoughts within yourself, elevated thoughts. Those thoughts are also creating an account of accumulation. So you know about these laws also through the Murli. And Baba tells us about, what karma gives you what result, and then Baba gives you the, brings our attention to the time that we are living in through the Murli. Every day Baba reminds us, because you see, we get lost in all the noises of the world, and we forget that this is the time to be still and silent and go home. And we also start, going into the expansions and the noises of the world, and the people in the world don't know that this is the time to go back home, and this is the time to, condition yourself in a silent stage so that you can go to that world of silence. But Baba brings our attention to that every day. And Baba also brings our attention to, Baba and the soul. So every day before we sit for Amrit Vela or the Murli, we are pretty, the what do you say, the dirt or the dust of body consciousness that's in the world keeps rubbing on us, and then we become increasingly body conscious during the day. But then when we sit for yoga or we sit in the Murli, Baba rubs off that dust, and knowledge is known as also, water, and it is Gyan Jal, and with that the water of knowledge, Baba cleans us of all the dust of and dirt of body consciousness, and then Baba brings us to this awareness that you are a soul. So every day Baba's Murli is our contact point with Baba, and whatever Baba knows, whoever Baba is, and whatever Baba instructs us to do, we get it through the Murli. And Baba says, you must never miss the Murli. You must never miss the Murli, because the paying attention to the Murli is the first thing. If you want to be with Baba, then you have to pay attention to the Murli. Because if you don't read the Murli today, then how do you connect your mind to Baba? What is the mind of Baba? The Murli is the mind of Baba. And when you take the inputs from the Murli and churn it in your mind, then your mind gets connected to Baba, and your mind starts aligning your frequency to Baba's frequency. But if you don't nurture your mind with the contents of the Murli, then it's very difficult to be man mana bhav, to connect your mind with Baba, because by churning on the points of the Murli, your vibration or frequency is aligned with Baba's frequency, because you are churning on what Baba is churning. Yes, so you are thinking about whatever is in Baba's mind, and that brings you closer to Baba. So this is why Baba says never miss the Murli. And even if you have a Manthan class, this is never a substitute for the Murli. So in the Murli, you get around 300 points every day. And how much do we churn in the class? 1 point, 2 point, 3 points. But in the Murli, you get 300 points, and you have so much, what do you say, Amrit. You have so much nectar from Baba, Gyan Amrit, that it will keep you energized for the whole day if you keep churning on it. So first thing is paying attention to daily Murli, attending the Murli every day as a class. And there is a class on YouTube which I give every day about the Murli, and none of you, I think, don't understand Hindi. If there is someone, then they can read the English Murli which is available on the app, Madhuban Murli app. But otherwise everybody understands Hindi, and you must listen to the Murli every day. Now today Baba also tells us another important point about why we should read the Murli every day. The Baba says there is also the importance of attendance. And you see that in a school, if you are studying, okay, you appear for the exam, and then you do well in the exam. But if you don't have 70%, 80% attendance, whatever is the prescribed attendance of the school, then those marks are not considered. Have you seen that? And I remember, you see, in college, so in the school, obviously children go to school, but what happens is in the college you bunk classes, and then what happens is, even if you've studied very well, you're ready for the exam, they won't allow you to appear for the exam until you have a certain percentage of attendance, and then you spend some money or do something to correct it. But the thing is that there is an aspect of the importance of attendance also. And Baba says study is one thing, you see. The Murli is important because it gives you a lot of things, that's another aspect. But one more important aspect is the aspect of attendance. And you must have everyday attendance before Baba. And sometimes you see in school also, even if we are not attentive, we just go to mark our attendance. And that's very important. So Baba says that you should have 100% attendance here. That's also a very, it is an important part in your register. So when your register will be checked, attendance is also an important aspect of it. So everyday attendance for the Murli is important. Then second aspect is you attend the Murli with attention. So sometimes you see you are listening to the Murli but not with attention. And then there was one Mata once, she told me that every day in the Murli same points come. So I said, that means you are not listening to the Murli with attention, because it is not so that every day the same points are coming. So every day Baba is giving you a lot of new points, but if you don't listen to it with attention, then you miss it. And sometimes also, even if you're paying attention, if you're not recalling it later and churning on it, then you don't feel the power that is contained in the points. So you see that for the Murli, the laws are, first thing is attendance, then there is attention while listening to the Murli. It is recommended that you note down points from the Murli, because although you may think that you have great memory, and you may have great memory, I don't deny that, but when you listen to the Murli, you will feel that memory fails you. Because you see, this is a different stuff. And I remember, there was this brother who had come from a foreign country, and he told me that he has great digestion. And then, we gave him some toli made of pure ghee, and then he ate that, and after some time he said he couldn't handle that pure ghee. So we said that you may have great digestion, but this stuff is different. This is very pure stuff. So similarly, you see, pure ghee these days is very difficult to digest, and people who claim that their digestion is very good also find it difficult to digest pure ghee. Similarly, Baba says that this is pure, Baba's Murli is pure knowledge, and it doesn't, the buddhi is impure. And you see, the buddhi is such that when you listen to something dirty, something insulting, something that gives you sorrow and trouble, it sticks on your buddhi. And even if you try to remove it, it doesn't go away. But then when you listen to the Murli, it slips away, and you don't remember any point after listening to the whole Murli. That's the difference between, a tamo pradhan buddhi and a sato pradhan buddhi. So when the buddhi is impure, then the pure stuff cannot be retained. And when the buddhi is pure, then the pure stuff will be retained. But how does the buddhi become pure? Gradually, yes? So as you keep listening, churning, reflecting on the Murli points, meditating, slowly, gradually the buddhi will become pure, and there will be a day when you will be able to remember every point of the Murli right from the beginning till the end. But right now what you have to do is, you have to take a notebook and pen and write down what Baba said today. And then you have to revise it. So there is first Shravan. Shravan means you listen to the Murli carefully. Then there is Manan. Manan means revision. Okay, Manan means revision of the points that you noted down from the Murli. How many of you note down points and then revise it? Because you see, there are many who don't note down points from the Murli, and there are many who note down and leave the notebook as if the notebook has to go to Satyug, and they don't revise the points in the notebook. And there was one brother, and he used to leave the notebook in the center, and he would write the Murli points and then leave the notebook in the center, and then tomorrow again come and write the points. So one day I stopped him and I told him, your notebook will take us all to Satyug, but I don't know what it will do to you, because your notebook is just giving points to others, but it's of no use to you. Every day you write and leave it. So you see, you have to note down the points, and then you have to revise it. And you see, every step counts, and every step counts in this journey of going from Nar to Narayan. So you have to pay attention to every step, revising the points. Then the third step is Chintan. You have to reflect on that point. Okay, you have to reflect on that point and understand the different dimensions of that point. Yes, so let's take one point and do the chintan on that point. So today in the Murli, Baba said that in this, in Baba's home, in this class, we are all listening to the same Murli, but in Baba's yagya, the Rajdhani is being created. So the kingdom is being created through this yagya, through this whole, Baba's work, which we call the yagya. So through this yagya, the whole kingdom is being created, and in the kingdom there is the king, the queen, the rich people, the sahukars, and then there is the praja, the normal praja, then there are servants, and there are also those who will burn the body, chandal. So because in Satyug also will leave the body, so then they will take care of disposing the body. So all those are there in the kingdom, and Baba says that all those are being created here. So you may be sitting in the same class, but you're not the same. You may be wearing the same dress, but you're not the same. Do you understand that? You may be having the same badge, but you're not the same. And you may be the king sitting beside somebody who is going to become a das dasi, or you may be the das dasi sitting beside somebody who is going to be the king. So in the same class, in Baba's class, in Baba's yagya, all souls who are sitting as Brahmins, they will take different positions in Satyug. And right now also you see in Baba's yagya, everybody is doing different seva. Some are cooking food, some are cleaning, some are making beds, some are organizing the conferences, some are doing the publicity seva, some are doing the seva of giving gyan, some are supporting through wealth, some are supporting through body, through mind. So there are so many aspects of the seva that we are doing. But this has got nothing to do with that. It's not like somebody who's cooking food today will cook food in Satyug. No. So on the contrary, somebody who's cooking food will not need to cook food in Satyug, because all those who are doing seva will become the king in Satyug. So Baba tells us that in this very place, we are all together right now, but we will take different positions in Satyug. Now, when you reflect on this point, when you do chintan on this point, then you see that you figure out there are many implications of this point. And the most important implication is, do not compare yourself to any soul in the yagya. Yes, and do not limit yourself seeing the activities of any soul in the yagya. So if somebody is not paying attention to class, that doesn't mean that it's okay to not pay attention to class. But if you keep seeing that person who is not paying attention to class and who is choosing to have a low position in Satyug, and if you start copying that one, then you will also start having a low position in Satyug. So Baba says you don't have to look at anybody and follow anybody. That's why Baba says follow Brahma Baba. Because if you start following brothers and sisters, then everybody is a different quality and they are going to have their position in Satyug. But if you follow them, you will follow their position in Satyug also. But it could be that you are going to be the king. So you listen to the Murli that Shiv Baba gives and do things according to the Murli and see Brahma Baba and copy his example because he is the number one soul. Don't copy the ones around you. This is one implication. When you do chintan on the point, you get one implication, which is this. Second implication is, don't have expectations from anybody around you. Because you see, sometimes you think that when we are reading the same Murli, we should do the same things. Yes, if you are being punctual, you are being honest, you are doing your tapasya, then the other one should also do it. And then instead of taking the form of hope, it takes the form of expectation, and then you start getting disappointed with the other person, or you start questioning the whole system because you see that some are not doing it. But you see that if the Rajdhani is being created and there are lots of dasis that are being created, then obviously many will choose not to do whatever Baba is saying, and that's okay. That's completely okay. But you do your thing, don't have expectations from others. And I remember, there was once a doctor and he came and he saw one sister being very, so there was this one sister in a center and she was bringing water, and the glass of water fell. So when the glass of water fell, so this brother who was a doctor said that when you are yogis, all your actions should be accurate. So, the glass of water shouldn't fall. So then I asked him, how many doctors do you have in your hospital? So he said, we are a staff of 57. So I said, are all the doctors the same? So he said, no. So I said, is it possible that one doctor is as good as not being a doctor? So he said, yes, there are some. So I said, that means that even if you are a doctor, you are a variety, right? You're not the same kind of doctor. So he said, yes, that's true. So I said, but how is that possible? You studied the same thing, then how can you be so different from each other? So he said, because that's human nature. So I said, exactly. We are studying the same thing. We are yogis, but we are also different from each other. So he said, but it's very difficult to digest that you're yogis and then you're all different from each other. Aren't yogis supposed to be the same? So I said, yes, exactly. We also think like that when we visit the hospital. We think all doctors should be the same, but they are not. So similarly, not all yogis are the same, not all BKs are the same, but we are all, the common factor is we are all working towards it. We are making effort and we have love for God, and we are making some are taking strides, some are taking baby steps, but we are all working towards the goal of becoming the best version of ourselves. So that is what makes us a yogi. So then he said, okay, I think I got your point. So you see that sometimes, there are these expectations in the world that when you are a BK, you should be like this, this, and this. And you should tick this box and that box. You should talk this way and not that way. And then you should, your language should be this and not that. Of course, our language should be pure and polite, but it is not necessary that we speak the same language. So Baba tells us that it's okay when other people don't understand it, but sometimes we also don't understand it ourselves. And you think that every BK should be like you, should meditate like you, should do everything like you, and should talk like you, and behave like you, and respond like you in every situation. But that's not so. Every BK is different because we are working towards different positions in Satya. So this is when you understand, so when you do chintan, when you try to understand the implications of the point that Baba is giving, then you arrive at what are the various aspects of this one point. So not comparing yourself, not having expectations from other BKs, not thinking that everybody would fit into one box and everybody would be the same effort, same honesty. No, not everybody will have it, and it is okay. And then you do what is called manthan. And what is manthan? Manthan is when you think about, in the light of this point, what are the things that you need to imbibe in yourself in order to be an embodiment of this point. So you see, maybe earlier you did not know that in this one yagya Rajdhani is being created, so everybody is different. But now you know it, or maybe even if you knew it, it was not in your awareness and attention. But now it is in your awareness and attention. So, how do you stop yourself from comparison and expectation within the BK family? So, how do you stop that? So, that is an aspect of manthan. When you start thinking about what qualities you need to imbibe and what are the swaman that you need to practice. So, just contemplate on it. And if you look at this point, then you need to practice, you need to practice soul consciousness. You need to practice this fact that everybody has different sanskar and different destiny, and I am not comparable to anybody. My path, my destination is my own, and although we are walking together, our and our destination may look like it's together, still we are all working for different positions in Satyug. So practice this soul consciousness, practice, forgiveness, practice having, this quality of seeing everything and not seeing the defects but seeing the specialities. Now when you live in a group and you see that everybody is different, then what do you focus on so that you can operate as a group respectfully? So you focus on the good qualities, not the bad ones. So if somebody is, even if that person is not very disciplined, but that person is hardworking. Yes, so even if the spiritual disciplines are less, but they are hardworking. So you choose to focus on the hardworking, and then you can build respect towards that soul despite they being very different from you. And then you practice the fact that they are Baba's child. So all of these things you have to reflect on or contemplate on so that they become part of your personality. And when they become part of your personality, then you will be able to live amidst diversity with respect and acceptance. And then after manthan, there is simran. So ultimately, it is all about spiritual power. So when you want to imbibe any point, what do you have to do? You have to understand what you need to do to imbibe that point, and then sit in Baba's remembrance and take power from Baba. So Simran or what do you say? You say deep remembrance of Baba. This is what helps you to take power from Baba and imbibe whatever virtues or qualities or powers you need to be an embodiment of that point. and then that point becomes smriti. Smriti means it becomes a part of your awareness, and you can see it reflected in your attitude and vision and action, and you operate from that awareness henceforth. So just look at how one point from the Murli can change your whole attitude and action. But if you miss that day's Murli, if you miss today's Murli, will you get that point? That it's a Rajdhani being created and everybody is different, and you have to understand that and operate within the BK family like that. So you won't get that point if you miss today's Murli. So Baba says it starts with attendance, and then Murli is the source of changing your awareness. So we must pay attention to every aspect of the Murli. Okay, Om Shanti.